Welcome back to our exploration of how to handle relationship breaks. In part 1, we discussed understanding what breaks really mean, the psychology behind why women ask for breaks, how to respond in that critical first conversation, and how to begin using this time for personal growth. Now in this second part, we'll dive deeper into navigating the break period itself, how to approach reconnection, and how to move forward regardless of whether reconciliation happens or not. Let's continue this journey together. The common pitfalls to avoid during a break. While navigating a relationship break, certain behaviors can undermine the potential benefits of this time apart or even damage the possibility of reconciliation. 1. Digital surveillance. Constantly checking her social media, analyzing online activity, or using mutual friends to gather information creates unhealthy obsession patterns. This behavior prevents you from focusing on your own growth, violates privacy boundaries, often leads to misinterpretations and unnecessary pain, reveals insecurity rather than confidence. 2. The grand gesture trap. Movies have romanticized dramatic displays to win someone back. The boombox outside the window, the public declaration of love. In real life, these gestures often ignore the real issues that led to the break, can feel manipulative or pressuring. Typically address your need for resolution rather than respecting her request for space. Rarely work and can even backfire by confirming the need for separation. 3. Recruiting allies to your cause. Enlisting mutual friends or family members to advocate for you or report back on her activities. Puts those people in uncomfortable positions, creates faction-like dynamics in social circles, demonstrates a lack of respect for the break agreement, often gets back to her, and damages trust further. 4. The replacement rush. Immediately jumping into dating or hookups to prove you're desirable or to numb the pain, short-circuits the emotional processing you need to do, can create complications if reconciliation becomes possible, often leads to comparing new people unfavorably to your ex, prevents the self-reflection that makes a break valuable. 5. The self-destruction spiral. Using alcohol, substances, reckless behavior, or other self-destructive coping mechanisms creates additional problems that compound your stress, reinforces any concerns she might have had about stability, distracts from the real emotional work needed, can lead to regrettable decisions with lasting consequences. 6. Premature relationship autopsies. Repeatedly contacting her to analyze what went wrong or to check if she's ready to reconcile violates the space she requested, makes emotional processing more difficult for both of you, creates pressure that can push her further away, often leads to circular conversations without resolution. 7. The new me facade. Making dramatic lifestyle changes solely to impress her rather than for authentic growth, creates changes that are unlikely to be sustainable, can feel manipulative when recognized as performance, focuses on external changes rather than deeper emotional work, doesn't address the real relationship dynamics at issue. Avoiding these pitfalls requires consistent self-awareness and often support from friends or professionals who can gently redirect you when you're tempted toward counterproductive behaviors. As the agreed-upon break period progresses or reaches its conclusion, the question of reconnection arises. Here's how to approach this delicate phase. Timing your reconnection attempt. If you established a specific time frame for the break, respect that timeline completely. If the break was open-ended, consider these indicators that it might be time to initiate contact. You've both had sufficient time for reflection, usually at least several weeks. You've gained meaningful insights about yourself and the relationship. You're feeling emotionally centered rather than desperate. You can accept either reconciliation or permanent separation. Any agreed-upon check-in date has arrived. Effective approaches to reconnection. When you do reach out, consider these principles. 1. Start light and respectful. Rather than diving immediately into relationship talk, a simple message acknowledging the time apart is appropriate. Hi Mia, our agreed check-in date is approaching, and I wanted to see if you'd be open to a conversation when you're ready. 2. Suggest a neutral setting. If she's open to meeting, suggest a location that is public, but allows conversation a quiet cafe rather than a movie, doesn't carry intense emotional memories, avoid our special place, has a natural endpoint, lunch rather than an open-ended meeting, allows either person to leave comfortably if needed. 3. Share growth, not just feelings. When you do meet, focus on the insights you've gained rather than just expressing how much you've missed her. This time has helped me recognize patterns in how I communicate when I'm stressed. I've been working with a therapist on my tendency to avoid conflict. I've realized how much I was depending on you for my emotional regulation. 4. Ask open questions and listen deeply. Show genuine interest in her experience without assuming outcomes. What has this time been like for you? Have you gained any new perspectives you'd be willing to share? What do you feel you need moving forward? 5. Discuss specific changes, not vague promises. If reconciliation seems possible, talk about concrete changes rather than general commitments. Instead of "I'll be better at communication," try "I'd like us to have a weekly check-in about our needs and concerns." Instead of "I'll be less jealous," try "I've been working on self-soothing techniques when I feel insecure." 6. Be prepared for any outcome. Enter this conversation having already accepted that any outcome is possible. She might want to end the break and resume the relationship with new understanding, to extend the break for more clarity, to end the relationship permanently, to transition to a different type of relationship, friends, occasional dating. Your preparation for all these possibilities demonstrates emotional maturity, regardless of what happens next. If you both decide to give the relationship another chance, this is not simply a return to the status quo. It's an opportunity to build something more resilient and fulfilling than before. 1. Create a relationship reset agreement. Together, establish clear understandings about what will be different moving forward.
New communication protocols for raising concerns.
Regular relationship check-ins before problems escalate. Boundaries that will be respected more conscientiously. Individual space and autonomy, needs that will be honored. 2. Implement a trigger management system. Identify the specific dynamics that led to problems before. Name the triggering scenarios or behaviors for each of you. Develop early warning signals you can use to alert each other. Create pre-agreed timeout procedures for heated moments. Establish return from timeout protocols to ensure issues get resolved. 3. Balance reconciliation with continued individual growth. Maintain some of the positive individual practices you developed during the break. Keep attending therapy or support groups if they were helpful. Preserve some regular alone time or personal activities. Continue strengthening outside friendships and support networks. Maintain personal goals separate from relationship goals. 4. Practice graduated trust rebuilding. If trust was damaged, recognize that its restoration is gradual. Begin with smaller agreements before tackling major issues. Acknowledge and celebrate when commitments are kept. Discuss disappointments constructively without catastrophizing. Recognize that consistency over time, not intensity of promises, rebuilds trust. 5. Develop rituals of connection and repair. Create regular practices that strengthen your bond. Daily appreciation exchanges, weekly deeper check-in conversations, monthly relationship review discussions, personalized repair rituals for after disagreements. The strongest relationships after a break are rarely just restored versions of the old relationship. They are thoughtfully reconstructed partnerships that integrate the wisdom gained during the separation. Sometimes, despite our best efforts and growth, a break leads to a permanent breakup. If this happens, how you handle this transition speaks volumes about your character and affects your ability to heal. 1. Accept the decision with respect. While it's appropriate to express your disappointment, pressuring or arguing against her decision rarely changes the outcome, diminishes the dignity of both parties, makes the separation more painful than necessary, creates regrettable final memories of the relationship. 2. Agree on practical transition plans. Address logistical matters clearly and fairly, returning each other's possessions, disentangling any shared financial commitments, addressing lease agreements or other contractual obligations. Establishing communication boundaries moving forward. 3. Communicate about social circle navigation. If you share friends or social spaces, discuss how to manage this respectfully, which events or gatherings might need temporary attendance coordination, how much information will be shared with mutual friends, which connections are vital for each of you to maintain, agreements about dating within shared social circles, if relevant. 4. Allow yourself full grieving. Recognize that the end of a significant relationship involves true loss. Give yourself permission to experience all stages of grief. Create appropriate outlets for emotional expression. Recognize grief triggers and develop coping strategies. Consider grief as evidence of your capacity for deep connection, not weakness. 5. Extract the growth lessons. After sufficient grieving time, consciously identify what this relationship taught you. What qualities in a partner are truly essential for your happiness? Which of your own patterns contributed to relationship challenges? What boundaries you need to establish earlier in future relationships? How you can bring your authentic self more fully into connections. 6. Begin rebuilding with self-compassion. As you move toward your future, resist the urge to demonize your ex or yourself. Reframe the relationship as a chapter in your story, not its definition. Recognize the courage it takes to begin again. Trust that this ending, however painful, creates space for more aligned connections. Moving forward with dignity doesn't mean you won't have moments of anger, regret, or profound sadness. It means you choose to let this experience refine rather than define you. When someone asks for a break, it often feels like the beginning of an ending. Sometimes it is, but whether this break leads to a stronger relationship or a thoughtful conclusion, the true opportunity lies in how it can catalyze your growth. As psychologist Carl Jung noted, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The pain of relationship uncertainty is a powerful teacher if we're willing students. The man who emerges from navigating a relationship break with consciousness and care, regardless of the outcome, is a man with greater emotional intelligence, clearer personal boundaries, more authentic communication skills, deeper self-knowledge, increased capacity for intimacy, stronger resilience in the face of uncertainty. These qualities serve you in all relationships, romantic and otherwise. Remember that while you cannot control another person's feelings or decisions, you always maintain sovereignty over your response. By choosing dignity, self-reflection, and growth during one of life's most challenging experiences, you write a story about yourself that you can be proud of, no matter how this particular chapter ends. The question is not simply what should you do when she asks for a break, but rather, who will you choose to become through this experience? Your answer to that question may be the most important outcome of all. This path isn't easy. There will be days when wisdom feels impossible and emotion overwhelms reason. Be gentle with yourself on those days. Reach out for support when you need it, and trust that by engaging with this challenge consciously, you're developing strengths that will serve you for a lifetime of deeper, more authentic connections. If this content has been valuable to you, now is the time to take action. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on relationship wisdom and personal growth. Your journey of emotional intelligence is just beginning. Has a relationship break taught you something important? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. And if you know someone currently navigating a relationship break, be the friend who makes a difference. Share this video with them. Sometimes the right guidance at the right moment can change everything. Remember, you've got this, and whatever happens next, you have the capacity not just to survive it, but to be transformed by it. See you in the next video.